ride and an additional $10 to get into the park. What we need to do is find an equation. Well, we know already before we even get into the park, we've got to pay $10 to get in. So we've got to put a plus 10 there. And we know that anytime we ride a ride, it's going to cost us another $1.50. So let's let X equal the number of rides. And we're going to let Y equal the total amount of money that we're going to be spending at the park. So we're going to look at this, and I know that $10, and let's go ahead and look at that and say it's going to charge you $1.50 per ride, okay? And it's going to give you an additional $10. Those are supposed to be circled. Additional means to add $10 to get into the park. So I know it's going to be 10 plus 10, and now I'm going to let X equal the number of rides, and I know that each ride is going to cost me $1.50. So it's going to be $1.50 per ride plus the additional $7 that it comes in. I mean $10 that I have to get into my actual park. So we're going to look over here, and I've got a table. We're going to start filling out tables now and say, excuse me, what happens when I have a 2? You will have your calculator, and you will be able to look at this and know that 2 times 150 is going to give you 3. $3 plus 10 is going to give you $13. So if I ride 2 rides, I've already spent $13. And so let's find out how many rides, if I want to ride 4 rides, because normally we ride a lot more than that. Well, if 2 is going to give me 3, I know that 4 is going to give me 4 times 150 should give me $6. So $6 plus the actual $6 plus the actual 10 is going to give me $16 total that I've already spent. And if I'm going to ride 6 rides, I know that that's going to give me another $9 that I've already spent on the rides, plus the 10 to come in, so that's going to be $19. And let's do one more if I want to ride 8 rides, and I'm sure you normally ride more than that. I'm going to say 8 times $1.50 is going to give me, that's going to give me actually $12 plus the 10 is going to give me $22 that I'm going to spend. Now, we can take our X and Y value table, and this is just like our ordered pairs, just like we talked about before. If I were to put commas around these, I've got an X value and a Y value, and I can come over here to this table that I've already labeled. This is the number of rides on the X axis, and on the Y axis, I've got the money that has been spent. And I'm going to look over here at 2, and I'm going to come up to where 13 is. Now, I've ordered these, or I've put them in 5 intervals by 5s. My intervals are by 5, so I've got to kind of guesstimate about where it would be for $13. So for 2, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Of course, you're always going to want to label your axis. This is the number of rides. Label the y-axis for the money that is being spent total. And then I'm going to want to number these and see how I went up by 5s, intervals of 5, because I don't want to go up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I know my first amount that I'm going to spend just to get into the park is $10. So if I look at 2 rides, I'm going to go from 2 to 13, which is going to be about right here. Then I'm going to look at 4 rides, and that will give me 16, which is going to be right above the 15. When I'm looking at 6 rides, I'm looking at $19. So I'm going to go to 6, I'm going to come up to 6, and I'm going to go right below the 20, okay, which is going to be about right here. And when I'm looking at 8 rides, I'm going to be right at 22, so 8 and 22. It's going to be about right here. So if I had to take this and draw a straight line to connect my dots, it should look something like this. And of course, because I'm not using the actual graph paper, this is looking a little cattywampus. But that would be my straight line. Notice how on the y-axis it goes through 10. And we know this because I haven't ridden anything at 0 rides. I've not ridden anything at 0 rides. but I've already spent $10, and that was just to get into the park. So it will go through my y-axis at 10. And now I'm going to look at what I've got. I've filled out a table. I've got my equation, which is sometimes called the rule. You will hear this as the rule. And now I have plotted my points. Now let's look over here. It says using the graph, which is this part here, how much would you pay if you rode 10 rides? Well, I'm going to come up this way, and I'm going to go up to about right here at 10. Okay, so I'm going to go back about right up here at 10. And look to see where would 10 fall. I'm going to come back over this way and see that 10 is going to fall right at 25. And if I had graph paper, it would look better. So for 10 rides, I would have already spent $25. So I can also answer questions by using the graph. I can use the equation 2 to put in 10 here. I could have put 10 times 1.50 times 10 would have given me $15, plus my 10 would have given me 25. And I could have come down here and just kept working with this. I'm going to be showing you different ways we can use our graphing calculators for these, okay? So let's look at our next question. Our next question says, Brian is working part-time selling hot dogs from a hot dog cart. Brian sells each hot dog for $1.50. And each hot dog costs Brian 40 cents, including the hot dog, the bun, the condiments, and all the napkins. Condiments happens to be like mustard, coleslaw, ketchup, anything that you're going to put on your chili, anything you're going to put on your hot dog. So everything included is going to cost him 40 cents per hot dog. So I'm going to look at this. If I'm going to charge my people, anybody that comes up to buy a hot dog, my patrons, $1.50, but yet I'm already have spent $40 of 40 cents of my money on that. That's only going to be 110 pennies if you want to look at it that way, or $1.10 for each hot dog. So I'm going to look over here and say, let's let my X value be the number of hot dogs that I sell. And I'm going to let Y be the amount of money total that I make off selling the hot dogs. I can do this one of two ways. I can say I'm going to first do a little bit of math before I put it up here in my equation. I know that I'm going to charge $1.50 for every hot dog, but then I'm going to turn right back around, and I know that that is costing me 40 cents for every hot dog that I sell. So when I do the math and take $1.50 minus 40 cents, I know that I am only making a true $1.10 on each hot dog that I sell. So I'm going to let Y equal, this is going to be my total amount of money. I'm going to say $1.10 is how much I'm actually making on every hot dog that I sell. So when I have my equation, I can then stick these numbers in it and say, what is 1 in place of X, because these are all my X values. I'm going to say 1 times 110 is going to give me $1.10. 2 times 110 is going to give me $2.20. 3 times 110 is going to give me $3.30. 4 times 110 is going to give me $4.40. So now that I've got some numbers here in my table, I can come over here and graph it. And notice that I have labeled my X values as the number of hot dogs. This is what we said X would be. And I've labeled this as the amount of money made, or my profit, meaning how much I'm making per hot dog, is going to be my Y value. So I'm going to come over here, and at 1 hot dog, I'm going to come up here and put $1.10. And I've broken this up into what the hot dogs would cost, so it would be easier to see. 2 hot dogs is going to be $2.20. 3 hot dogs is going to be $3.30. And 4 hot dogs is going to be $4.40, and so on. If I were to draw the line, okay, I would draw the line. It would keep coming up straight in a straight line. Of course, I don't have a straight edge to help me with this. But I know that went through the 0 on this particular case on my y-axis, because I know if I don't sell any hot dogs, I don't make any money. So here I'm going to look at it and say, let's ask this question. How much money will Brian make if he sells 10 hot dogs? Well, first of all, I could come out here and just keep filling out my table. Or I could come up here and I could say $1.10 times 10, and that would give me how much I would make, which I should already know mentally how much I make. I hope you do. And if I come over here, I can say, let's just go up here to the number of hot dogs, and I'm just going to place it. And of course, this would be much, much better if I had a straight line, a straight ruler, or if I had an actual graph paper. And I know I'm going to come over here to see that it would be $11. So I know that it would be $11 for me if I went over there and bought 10 hot dogs from Brian and his cart. Okay? All right, let's look and do one last one. Okay? And I hope you're seeing how all these kind of counteract each other, how we can use all of these together to answer questions. Jake is volunteering at a car wash to help raise money for his school. They are charging $5 per car. This one's pretty easy. I'm going to let X equal the number of cars that go into the car wash. And Y is going to be the total amount of money that I make. Okay? So my equation will equal Y because I'm trying to find out the total amount of money I make. I know that I'm going to make $5 per car, per being a multiplication word, 5 times, and I know that my cars are going to be X, so it's going to be 5. Y equals 5X. Here I've already put down in my table 1, 2, 3, 4 cars. X equals the number of cars, so when one car goes through, Brian's going to make $5. When 2 goes through, 2 times 5 is going to be 10. 3 times 5 is going to be 15. 4 times 5 is going to be 20, and so on. So I'm going to come over here. I've already made my graph. I've already labeled everything here. I've labeled my money. I didn't label this. This is money made. Money made, okay, and I'm going to do that, or my profit, okay. This is going to be 10. That's been kind of wiped off. The number of cars is going to go on the x-axis because I said x is going to equal the number of cars. Y on my y-axis is going to be the amount of money that I make per car. And I know that I have already started by using the table. If x is 1 or 1 car, I know that I'm going to make a profit of $5 to go towards my for my fundraiser. If I have 2 cars that go through, I'm going to make $10. 3 cars is going to be $15. 4 cars is going to be $20. Now I've got enough of these dots that I can connect them and keep going, because if I keep going, I can answer some other questions. So I'm going to go in a straight line as I possibly can, okay? And this will help me with keep going, all right? And if I keep going, it runs through the y-axis where they meet at 0. That means that if it hits 0, or if it starts at 0 on the x and y axis, that means when no cars come through the car wash, I can't make any money. So as I can see, this is as straight a line as I can draw at the end of school here. I can use this actual chart, or I can use the equation that we have come up with to decide how much money will Jake raise if there are 12 cars get washed. So I'm going to come down here to 12, and I'm just going to dot it right up here to 12. Okay, and I've got to run my line a little bit further down, okay, and I know this is going to, let's make this 60 here, and I'm going to run it across, because I know that if he has 12 cars go through the car wash, he's going to make $60, because I know if 5 times 12, the same thing here is y equals 5 times 12. I know that 12 times 5 is going to give me 5 times 12 is going to give me $60. So I know he has a profit.